Welcome to the Explainer. Let's be real. For most people, buying a home is probably the single biggest check you'll ever write. But have you ever stopped to think about what you're actually buying? It's so much more than just the house itself. Today, we're going to break down the entire world of real estate right from the very beginning. All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the basics, what real estate even means. Then we'll get into the rules and the people involved. After that, we'll dissect a typical deal from start to finish. And finally, we'll look at how you actually legally own the place. Let's jump in. First up, let's get right to the heart of it. What exactly is real estate? So you buy a house. What do you own? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, right? You own the house. But, legally speaking, it's actually way more specific and, honestly, a lot more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, the whole thing really boils down to this one simple distinction. You've got real property on one side and personal property on the other. Think of it like this. Real property is what's stuck to the earth. The land, the house, the driveway. It's immovable. Personal property, that's all the stuff you'd call the movers for. Your couch, your TV, your books. It goes with you.
So just to really hammer this home, when we're talking about a real estate transaction, we're talking about the real property. That's the land, anything built on it, and even natural resources under it. This is the absolute bedrock of every single deal.
Now, here's a fantastic 50-cent word for you. Appurtenance. It sounds super technical, right? But all it really means is something extra that's attached to the land and is part of the deal, automatically. So that built-in swimming pool, appurtenance. That shed in the backyard, appurtenance. It runs with the land, meaning when the land is sold, that stuff goes with it. No extra paperwork needed.
And check this out. You can actually do the reverse. You can turn real property into personal property. The legal term for this is severance. The best example is a tree. As long as that tree is growing in the yard, it's real property. But the second you cut it down to sell as firewood, bam, you've severed it from the land, and now it's just personal property. It's like a little magic trick.
All right, so we've got the what down. Now let's talk about the who and the how. The people who guide you through this process and the rules everyone has to play by. Of course, you don't do this alone. You've got licensed professionals to help, and state laws are super specific about their jobs. Take this snippet from Iowa State Code. It defines a broker as someone who, for a fee, helps someone else buy, sell, or rent property. It's a formal way of saying they're your hired gun in the real estate world.
So, how do agents get paid? This is a huge one. It all boils down to a concept called procuring cause. It's a fancy legal term for asking who really made this sale happen. The agent has to be able to connect the dots and show that their actions kicked off a chain reaction that directly led to you buying that house. And this whole process isn't just a free-for-all. It's not the Wild West. There's a whole framework of big, important federal laws that govern everything. You've got laws to make sure lending is fair and transparent, and absolutely crucial laws to prevent discrimination in housing. It's all there to protect you.
And it's not just the feds. It's like a two-layer cake of rules. On top of those big federal laws, each state adds its own. A perfect example of this is something called usury laws. Basically, they're state rules that say a lender can't charge an insane, sky-high interest rate. It's a safety net to keep people from getting taken advantage of. Okay, we've got the property, we've got the players, we've got the rules. Now for the main event. Let's actually walk through a real estate deal from that first handshake all the way to getting the keys. A deal is almost never set in stone from day one. It's a living, breathing thing that evolves. And when things need to change, two little documents come into play. It's actually easy to remember. An addendum adds new information. An amendment changes or corrects something that's already in the contract. So adding something versus fixing something. Simple as that.
Okay, here's another one of those important vocabulary words. Encumbrance. The best way to think about it is, well, it's like baggage. It's some kind of claim, lien, or limitation that's attached to the property. It doesn't mean you can't sell it, but it complicates things. It could be an unpaid bill from a contractor or even the neighbor's right to use your driveway. And don't underestimate how powerful an encumbrance can be. Take an unpaid property tax bill, for instance. That creates what's called a tax lien. Now, if that property ends up in foreclosure, guess who gets paid first? It's not the bank with the giant mortgage. Nope. The government's tax lien jumps right to the front of the line. They always get their money first.
So, after all the inspections, negotiations, and paperwork, it all comes down to this one moment, the closing. This is the grand finale. Everyone gathers around a table, you sign a mountain of documents, the money officially changes hands, and then you get the keys. The property is finally officially yours.
All right, last section. The keys are in your hand, but now what? How you actually own the property is a really big deal. It's called holding title. And trust me, it's not just some legal mumbo jumbo. It has massive implications for you, your finances, and your family.
First things first, let's clear something up that trips a lot of people up. The difference between a title and a deed. The easiest way to think about it is this. The title is the abstract concept of ownership. It's your right to the property. The deed, on the other hand, is the physical legal document that proves it. It's the receipt. The proof is in the paper. Now, if you're not buying a place all by yourself, this is where you need to pay close attention. Look at that last column on the chart. What happens on death? This is the whole ballgame. With joint tenancy, if one of the owners passes away, their share automatically goes to the other owners. Poof, it's theirs. But with tenants in common, their share goes to their heirs, whoever they put in their will. You can see how this is a huge, huge decision.
And this isn't just some abstract legal theory. It pops up in real life all the time. Think about a condo. You own your actual unit, your apartment, all by yourself. But what about the pool, the gym, the hallways? Well, you and every other owner in the building own those together as tenants in common. Everybody owns a tiny little slice of that shared pie.
So, why do we need to know all this stuff? Why does it matter? Well, look at this number. 65%. That's how many homes in the US are actually owned by the folks living inside them. For millions and millions of us, our home is the biggest investment we will ever make. So getting this stuff right isn't just an exercise, it's about protecting your family's future. So, there you have it. From the dirt under the foundation all the way to the signature on the deed, every single one of these details plays a part in what it means to own a home. We've given you the building blocks, so the only question left is, for your next move, what's the most important thing you'll be looking for?